Welcome to Kurt Berglund's Baseball World. This is our salute to the 1973 Mets week. We are replaying the 1973 American League Championship Series as part of the festivities for this week. And today begins Game 1 of that series, our replay of that series. It features, of course, the Mets against the 1973 National League Western Division champion Cincinnati Reds. The Reds were heavily favored in the series, although the Mets eventually took the series 3-2. Of course, back then, those were best-of-5 affairs. The Mets, of course, in 1973 had an injury-plagued season, but when they got everybody healthy in September, they took off and caught the other 5 teams in the division that were ahead of them in less than a month's time. They were 6.5, I want to say, back on September 1. And they ended up in first place, and they were in last place, 6.5 back, and they ended up winning the division. The Reds were in a dogfight with the Los Angeles Dodgers, a very young Dodgers team in 1973, and eventually caught the Dodgers and won the division. In so doing, of course, as defending National League pennant winners from 1972, the Reds were favored to go on to the World Series and play either the Orioles or the Oakland A's in the World Series, but it didn't work out that way. Today we're going to do Game 1, which took place on October 6th, 1973. We're going to use the Replay Classic game engine to play this game, and I think probably the whole series. One other thing about the Reds, they were heavily favored, but they did have adversity. Bobby Tolan was traded very late in the 1973 season in September to the Padres because the Reds, for whatever reason, had just decided they were unable to cope with him. He had an off year, he had an injury-plagued year, he was difficult to communicate with, but they also perhaps weren't giving it the best effort they possibly could have made in that area either. Now, the Replay Classic card set that I have includes Tolan as a Cincinnati Red, but does not include Ken Griffey, who did take Tolan's place late in the season. So I'm going to be using Tolan in Griffey's spot in these games. Of course, because the Mets start 2 left-handed starters in the series, John Matlack and Jerry Koosman, that won't really come into play too much anyway. But today it will, because Tom Seaver was the starting pitcher. The game was won in real life, or as the kids like to say, IRL, by the Cincinnati Reds 2-1 over Seaver. Jack Billingham, the ace of the Reds staff at this time, was the starter for Cincinnati. All right, so let's get the starting lineups and get rolling some Replay Classic Game 1 of our 1973 NLCS replay. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to click like and subscribe. For the visiting New York Mets, we are at Riverfront Stadium today. Wayne Garrett leads off at third base. Felix Millan bats second at second base. Rusty Staub bats third in right field. John Milner bats fourth at first base. Cleon Jones bats fifth in left field. Jerry Grody bats sixth. He'll do the catching. Don Hahn bats seventh. He'll play center field. Bud Harrelson bats eighth. He'll play short. And Tom Seaver will be on the mound for the Mets. For Cincinnati, it's Pete Rose leading off in left field. Joe Morgan bats second at second base. Batting third, it's Dan Dreesen, the third baseman. Batting fourth, Tony Perez, the first baseman. Johnny Bench bats fifth. He'll catch. Bobby Tolan. Didn't happen this way in real life, but we're doing the best we can. Tolan bats sixth. He'll play right field. Cesar Geronimo bats 7th. He'll play center field. Daryl Cheney bats 8th. He'll play shortstop. And on the mound, it's right-hander Jack Billingham. All right. So we are ready to go at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati. Or if you're Sparky Anderson, you pronounce it Cincinnati. All right. And first pitch of the ball game, Dwayne Garrett. Here we go. That is a 41 in column 2. It's a comebacker, gloved by Billingham. We're going to flip that one to Tony Perez, and there's one down in the Mets first. Felix Mian comes up now. And Mian pops that one up. Calling is Daryl Cheney, and he takes it for out number 2. Here's Rusty Staub. And it's a 17 plus, I believe Perez is a 2. No, he's not a 2. Yes, he is a 2. So that's a 19. And it's off Perez's glove. I'm sorry. Nope, we got to check back. Infield back. That's a 19. He loves it. He takes it to first himself, and that's going to retire the Mets in the first inning. Nothing across for New York. Now it's Tom Seaver's turn to face the Big Red Machine. The heavily favored Big Red Machine. And it'll be Rose, Morgan, and Dan Dreesen batting third. So Seaver winds and delivers to Pete Rose. And that's a 10, and that's a base hit in column 6. Rose is on with a single. Joe Morgan up. Seaver the stretch and the delivery. Hey, struck him out. One gone in the bottom of the first. Dreesen up. Seaver checks Rose and delivers to Dreesen. That's a 21 in column 3. That's hit to center. Don Hahn under it. And he'll make the catch for out number 2. Tony Perez. Seaver the stretch and delivers. That's a 4 in column 3. That's a blooper headed toward Cleon Jones, but Cleon's in and he's on that one, and that will retire the Reds in the first. So we've played one and there's no score in Cincinnati, whatever you want to call it. Top of the second, Milner, Jones, Grody, lefty, righty. Billingham, hard thrower for his time, delivers the first pitch to John Milner. That's hit to Perez. He gloves it and flips to Billingham covering, and there's one down in inning number 2. Cleon Jones. Billingham's pitch. That's hit to left and deep. Pete Rose, warning track, wall, and gone. Cleon Jones gives the Mets a 1-0 lead in the second. Billingham irritated with himself, and now he delivers to Grody. That is a 17 plus 2. Perez is going to take it himself, and there's 2 down in the second. Cleon Jones, home run, gives Seaver a 1-0 lead. Hahn up now. That's a 38 in column 1. And it's hit on the ground to short. Daryl Cheney gloves it and throws to Perez, and that retires the Mets, but they get the lead on a home run by Cleon Jones. Bottom of the second coming, bench, Tolan Geronimo. Righty, lefty. Seaver winds and delivers a 5 in column 3 to right. Here comes Rusty Staub, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Tolan up now. Hey, struck him out. Number 2 for Tom Terrific. 2 gone in the bottom of the second. Geronimo. Seaver winds and delivers to Cesar. That is a 22. That's hit in the air to right. Staub toward the line will take it, and that retires the side in inning number 2. So after 2, it's Mets 1, Reds nothing in game 1 of our NLCS replay. Billingham will face Harrelson, Seaver, and the top with Garrett in inning number 3. That is a ball 4. Ball 4 to Harrelson, and he takes his base. Seaver walks to the plate. We'll see what Yogi Berra has in mind. Billingham the stretch. And the delivery is Seaver squares to bunt. That is bunted toward Dreesen at third. He is a 4. That's a 15. That's a 19. He pops it up. Dreesen gloves it, and the bunt doesn't work. Now it's Garrett with Harrelson still at first. Billingham the stretch, checks Harrelson. There goes Bud, and the hit and run is on. The hit and run is on. That's a 1. That's a 21. Line drive right at Perez. He's going to step on the bag for an unassisted double play. Harrelson was already halfway to second. No chance to get back. After 2.5, 1-0 Mets. Cheney, Billingham, Rose, 8-9-1 for the Reds in the third. Seaver winds and delivers. That is a 2 in column 5. Ground ball hit to Milner. He's going to take it himself, and there's 1 down. Jack Billingham coming to the plate. Pitch to Jack is a 3 in column 3. Hit in the air to left. Cleon Jones under it, and he'll take it for out number 2. Pete Rose, owner of the only Reds hit in the game so far. The pitch to him is a 16 in column 3. That's corked to center. It's going to get over Don Hahn's head and 1 hop the wall. Pete around second is heading to third with a headlong slide. He's in there with a 3-base hit with 2 outs, and now it's Morgan. Joe Morgan with a chance to tie the game or do better. Seaver the stretch. The delivery to Joe is a 46 in column 2. Ground ball, Milner. He's going to take it himself, and the Reds' threat goes by the boards. After 3 complete, we got a good one. It's 1-0 Mets. 2, 3, 4 hitters coming for the Mets in inning number 4. Meehan, Staub, and Milner coming up. Meehan 0 for 1. The pitch to Felix is a 25 in column 6. Stroke to left down the line. Past a diving Dreesen. It's going to go down into the corner. Around first goes Meehan. He's going to take second on a double. Billingham with a none-out jam in the 4th. Staub at the plate with a chance for insurance. Billingham the stretch. The delivery is a 19. The defense, the infield is back. 19. The shortstop is Cheney. I believe he is a 3. Yes, he is. 22. Base hit into left field. Past Cheney. Around third is Meehan. He will score. It's 2-0 Mets on an RBI single by Rusty Staub. Milner at the plate now. Reds infield at double play depth. Billingham, the delivery. That's a 38 in column 1. Ground ball, Cheney. He goes to Morgan for one. The relay to Perez is in time for a rally-killing, soul-crushing 6-4-3 double play turned by the Reds. And with 2 outs and nobody on, it's Cleon Jones, who homered back in the second. That's ball 4. So Billingham walks him with 2 outs, and Grody comes to the plate. Grody 0 for 1. Billingham the stretch and the delivery. That's a 17, 19. Perez going to flip to Billingham covering at first, and that retires the Mets. But they get another run on 2 hits, leave 1. After 3.5, it's Mets 2, Reds nothing. The Mets have now doubled their run production in Game 1 by scoring 2 runs. Dreesen 0 for 1. The pitch from Seaver is a 33. Right field. Staub coming on. Makes the catch for out number 1. Perez is 0 for 1. The pitch is a 13 in column 2. Base hit center field. Drops in front of Hahn. Don throws it back in. Perez has the Reds' 3rd hit, and the first one not accomplished by a man named Pete Rose. Bench up 0 for 1. 1 out, 1 on for the Reds. Seaver, the stretch, and the delivery. That is hit to Meehan. He goes to Harrelson for 1, and the relay to Milner is in time for a 4-6-3 rally-killing, soul-crushing double play turned by the Mets. We've played 4. And it's 2-0 New Yorkers. The heavily favored Reds are trailing in Game 1. Hahn, Harrelson, and Seaver, 7, 8, 9 for the Mets in the 5th. Hahn 0 for 1. The pitch. That's a 49 in column 2. Ground ball, Morgan. He gloves it and throws to Perez for out number 1. Bud Harrelson walked in the 3rd. Billingham's delivery. That's a 17 in column 3. That's stroke to left. It's going to split Rose and Geronimo, and Bud Harrelson gets a double. Now Seaver with 1 out and a man in scoring position. A lot of options here for Yogi Berra. Billingham the stretch, the delivery. He is not bunting. That is a 7 in column 2, popped up. Bench, foul territory, throws away the mask and makes the catch for out number 2. So it's up to Garrett to come through with Harrelson in scoring position. Top of the 5th, 2-0 Mets. The delivery from Billingham is a 16. Second baseman Morgan is a 1. Joe gloves it to his left. Throws to Perez and retires the Mets. They get a hit, but they leave him after 4.5. We're halfway through this one, and it is 2-0 Mets. Tolan, Geronimo, Cheney, lefty, lefty, lefty. 6, 7, 8 in the Reds' 5th. The pitch to Bobby. Hey, struck him out. Number 3 for Seaver. The 2nd for Tolan in the game. Geronimo up 0 for 1. Seaver winds and delivers. That is hit on the ground to Milner. Seaver gets over there and covers, and they beat Geronimo by a step. 2 outs now for Cheney. Seaver's allowed 3 hits. He has walked none. He has struck out 3. Seaver winds and delivers to the Reds' left-handed hitting shortstop. Hey, struck him out. Number 4 for Tom Jurevich. We've played 5 at Riverfront, and it's 2-0 Mets. Game 1 of our NLCS replay for 1973. In the 6th, it's Meon, Staub, and Milner. Felix, 1 for 2. The pitch from Billingham is a 14 in column 3. Line shot gloved by Dreesen. Not known for his defense, but he made a nice play there. Billingham pitching well, but he's not on Seaver's level today. Staub, 1 for 2. The pitch. Another line smash at Dreesen. There's 2 gone in the 6th. Now it's Milner 0 for 2. Billingham winds and delivers. A 22 in column 3 to right field. Tolan back and makes a nice catch. That retires the Mets in the 6th in 1-2-3 fashion for Jack Billingham. Now we're at one of those decision points. We've reached the bottom of the 6th. And Jack Billingham is due to lead off. But I think Sparky might stick with him here, and I'm going to as well. It's 2-0. Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. I'm going with Billingham here. 0 for 1. Jack is 0 for 1 in the game. The pitch is a 5 hit to Meon. Felix gloves it and throws to Milner for out number 1. Now it's Rose. Pete is 2 for 2. A single and a triple. The pitch corked by Rose. This is a 10 in column 6. Base hit center field. 3 for 3 for Pete. He's got 3 of the Reds' 4 hits. Morgan comes up. He's the tying run. Joe is 0 for 2. The pitch from Seaver is popped up. Foul territory. Grody throws away the mask. And the man who said that if he and Johnny Bench said that if he and Grody were on the same team, Johnny Bench would end up at third base. So that's pretty high praise. Dreesen up. Rose still at first. 2 men out. Bottom of the 6th. The pitch from Seaver is a 2 in column 5. That's grounded to Wayne Garrett. He's going to go the short way to Meon. And that will retire the Reds in the 6th. After 6 complete, Seaver has scattered 4 hits and is throwing a shutout. It's 2-0 Mets. Cleon Jones homered in the 2nd to give the Mets a 1-0 lead at that time. It'll be Jones, Grody, and Hahn. Righty, righty, righty. The pitch from Billingham is a 28 in column 6. Base hit center field. Jones is 2 for 2. He's also walked. Grody comes to the plate. A lot of options here. Billingham, the stretch and the delivery, and this is going to be trouble. It's a base hit to right field. Drops in front of Tolan. Jones is going to go to third base. Mets at the corners as Tolan's throw comes into 2nd. Here's Don Hahn. Billingham now in a mess. That's going to get the Reds bullpen cooking. Tom Hall and Pedro Borbon, lefty-righty double-barreled action, just the way I like it, in the Reds' pen. Reds infield moves in, nobody out. Jones at third, Grody at first, Hahn at the plate. Billingham the stretch. Hahn is 0 for 2. The delivery from Jack is a 20 in column 2. Fly ball center field. Driving Geronimo back. He will make the catch. Tagging is Jones. And Jones scores without a throw. Grody holds it first. It's 3-0 Mets. Harrelson up now. Billingham the stretch and the delivery. That's a 7 in column 1. Popped up. Joe Morgan calling and taking, and there's 2 gone now. Don Hahn with a big sacrifice fly. The pitch to Seaver is grounded to Morgan. He's going to go the short way to Cheney, and that will retire the Mets in the 7th, but they get another run. On 2 hits, they leave 1. And we're going to stretch them out in Cincinnati now with the score. Mets 3, Reds nothing. Perez, Bench, and Tolan coming up in the bottom of the 7th. Perez 1 for 2. The pitch to Tony is ball 4. Not the start Tom Seaver wanted in the 7th. Bench is up. Yogi Berra walks to the bullpen phone and gets some action going. Tug McGraw starts to throw in the Mets bullpen. Johnny Bench is 0 for 2. Perez is at first. There's nobody out. We're in the bottom of the 7th. The delivery from Seaver is a 16 in column 1. That's a base hit to left. Drops in front of Cleon Jones. And he boots it. Cleon Jones boots it. It's a single and an error. It's going to send Perez to third and Bench to scoring position at second base. There's nobody out in the bottom of the 7th, and it's Bobby Tolan. Mets infield plays back. Seaver the stretch. The delivery to Tolan is grounded to Milner. He's going to take it himself as Perez scores. It's 3-1 Mets now, and Bench goes to third. So an RBI ground out for Tolan. And now Geronimo with Bench at third, 3-1 Mets. Seaver the stretch. The delivery to Geronimo is a 22 in column 3 to right field. Under it is Staub. Tagging is Bench. There may be a play. Rusty makes the catch. He uncorks the throw toward Grody, and Bench is out at the plate. A double play, a rally-killing, soul-crushing double play, 9-2 style, as Staub makes the catch and throws out a very surprised, tagging Johnny Bench at the plate. Grody applies the tag, and that ends the 7th inning with a base-running gaff by Johnny Bench. We go to the 8th with your score. Mets 3, Reds 1, Game 1, 1973 NLCS. Garrett against Billingham, who has now flipped to his B grades. Bourbon and Hall are ready in the bullpen. Garrett 0 for 3. The pitch from Billingham, that's a 35. Right field, short fly. Here comes Tolan, and there's 1 down. Meehan up now. Felix 1 for 3. Billingham winds and delivers, and that's ball 4, and here comes Sparky Anderson. He wants Tom Hall to face Rusty Staub, and he wants him right now. So, Hall is a lefty, of course. The Blade was his nickname. He'll take on the left-handed batting Staub. Billingham's day is done. 7 1/3 innings. 6 hits. He walked 1, 2, 3 men. And he didn't strike out anybody. He is in line for the loss. Meehan at first is his responsibility. Staub against Hall. The pitch from the Blade. Hey, struck him out, and there's 2 down in the Mets' 8th. Milner up, lefty. Hall stays in. The pitch. This is bounced toward Morgan. He gloves it and throws to Perez at first, and that retires the Mets in the 8th. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. With the score, Mets 3, Reds 1. Seaver will face Cheney, a pinch hitter for Billingham, and then Pete Rose in the Reds' 8th. Cheney is 0 for 2. The pitch from Seaver is a 7. That's a base hit over second base. Just past Felix Meehan's glove. Cheney's on with a single. And Sparky Anderson has called Jack Billingham back to the dugout. Tom Hall back to the dugout. And out comes a pinch hitter for the Blade. And the pinch hitter is going to be Larry Stahl. Left-handed batting outfielder. Batting for Hall. Nobody out. Cheney at first. We're in the bottom of the 8th. 3-1 Mets. Seaver the stretch. The delivery to Stahl is hit on the ground to Garrett. Gotta check his defense. That is a 3. Garrett is a 3. He goes to Meehan for 1. The relay to Milner is in time for a rally-killing, soul-crushing 5-4-3 double play turned by the Mets. And now with 2 outs and nobody on, it's Rose. The pitch to Pete is a 33 in column 6. Right field, Staub coming in. He makes the catch, and that retires the Reds in the 8th. We've played 8 complete. It's 3-1 Mets. We're going to get a new pitcher in the 9th inning for Cincinnati. It's Pedro Bourbon. He will bat in the 9 spot. And face Jones, Grody, and Hahn. Righty in the Mets order. Jones is 2 for 3. Bourbon winds and delivers. Hey, struck him out. 1 down, top of the 9th. Mets looking to steal a game in Cincinnati. First 2 in Cincinnati, last 3 if necessary in New York, in Flushing, Queens. 1 for 3 for Grody. The pitch from Bourbon. Ground ball, Dreesen. He gloves it, throws to Perez. 2 gone. Don Hahn with a clutch sac fly in the 7th. He's 0 for 2. Bourbon winds and deals. That's an 18. Hit to Morgan. 19. He throws to Perez, and Hahn is retired. We're going to the bottom of the 9th. 3-1 Mets, Game 1. NLCS 1973 style. Morgan, Dreesen, Perez, lefty, lefty, righty. We're going to flip Seaver. McGraw is ready. Yogi is on the top step of the dugout. Joe Morgan, 0 for 3. Seaver, looking to finish it. 3-1 Mets. The pitch to Morgan. 17. That's hit to Garrett. And I just looked at it, and now I can't remember. He's a 3. He gloves it to his left. He plants. He throws to Milner. And there's 1 down. They get Morgan by a half a step. 1 down, bottom of the 9th, Dan Dreesen. 0 for 3. The pitch from Seaver. Hey, struck him out. Number 5 for Tom Terrific. Last chance saloon is Tony Perez. On deck, Johnny Bench. Perez 1 for 2. Pitch from Seaver is a 22 in column 3. This is right field. It's Rusty Staub into right center. He makes a nice running catch, and that ends the ball game. A 3-1 Mets victory in Game 1. Something they did not do in real life, or as the kids like to say, IRL. All right, give you the totals for the Mets. 3 runs, 6 hits, and 1 error on Cleon Jones. For the Reds, 1 run, 6 hits, and they committed no errors. Winning pitcher, Tom Seaver. Seaver struck out 5. He walked 1. Allowed 1 run. It was not earned, but it did count. Billingham takes the loss for the Reds. Hall and Bourbon also pitched. All right, so Game 2 is back here at Riverfront tomorrow. Come on back. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel. This is 1973 Mets week on the Kurt Berglund Baseball World. Thanks for being with me. Have a wonderful day, everybody. So long, everybody.